And I got to start things off with a nightmare scenario that played out in Oxon Hill, Maryland, because we all need to applaud these survivors. Passengers had to be rescued after the power went out at National Harbor's Capitol Wheel. Imagine how those people must have felt. Nobody wants to die on a sexy amusement park ride. And a Ferris wheel at that. Imagine the last thing you experience is something that slow. The dollar store London Eye. Thankfully, everyone was rescued safely. This happened, by the way, during a private event for Washington Wizards season ticket holders. Hopefully it's not a sign of the season to come. Let's hope that was the biggest disappointment of the 2021-22 campaign. Now, I chose this next story because it's good news for once for Virginia drivers. Hey, we didn't think it was possible. The stretch of I-95 south near Fredericksburg is known for traffic backups, but a second southbound bridge is set to open for drivers next week. Get this, 5 months ahead of schedule, thanks to lighter pandemic traffic.
Starting October 12th, here's how this new traffic pattern will work. I-95 South will split into local and through lanes, so before you reach exit 136 at Centerport Parkway, you'll need to decide where you're headed.
Virginia acting brand new got me ready to drop in Alexandria. We'll get to that later. Virginia made the most of their pandemic time. They are the friend that got in shape and learned a new language during quarantine. The rest of us were watching Netflix and
the entire project is set to be completed in December with all 3 through lanes and all 3 local lanes open, doubling capacity and easing congestion.
I hope it makes it a little bit better at least.
Yeah, Zoom happy hours. That's just a real fancy way of saying you was at home drinking by yourself. We need some of that VDOT efficiency to rub off on DC and Maryland. That is a rarity in this area, unless it's the meter maids. Finally, I chose this story because it's a show everyone seems to be talking about. Netflix said it'll edit scenes that feature a phone number in their hit show Squid Game after a woman in South Korea with the same number says she was flooded with thousands of calls and texts. Man, that poor woman is going through the same thing everyone with 867-5309 went through as a phone number. Or if you're old and black, 777-9311. That is quite an album cover, by the way. Side note, were you even alive in 2005 if you don't know Mike Jones' phone number by heart? Go ahead. I'll wait. 281-330-8004. Mike Jones. That's right. Mike Jones. If you didn't, shout out to my boy Randolph. If you didn't know Mike Jones' phone number by heart, then I regret to inform you, you weren't actually alive in 2005. Squid Game, by the way, is a show about a game where contestants who are in a lot of debt play children's games to win a huge cash prize, but if they lose, they'll be killed. Kind of like the Hunger Games with hopscotch. Now, the woman who owns the number in real life has had it for 16 years. Thanks to all the calls and texts, she's reportedly been diagnosed with acute stress disorder. Now, I'm already borderline acute threaten a stranger just from the spam calls I get every day. I can't imagine getting constantly bothered by people who watch way too much TV. By the way, Netflix also lowballed her by just offering her $840 to get a new phone. A new phone? This lady is on medication. Where's Korean Johnny Cochran? And a cheap phone at that. They like, don't you even think about an iPhone 13 Pro Max. You enjoy this Cricket Wireless. I feel like a lawsuit is coming because anyone will want real compensation for the stress of that ordeal. You run that woman her coins, Netflix.